Cam Newton is being tipped to start versus Washington next week. We have another quarterback change in New York. Flacco looking to take the reins. New England looking like a pretty dangerous team. We got all those and scores and a special co-host coming up here on FTB's Through the Table. Hello and welcome to another edition of Through the Table. I'm your host, Britt Smeal. Want to thank everybody for joining. Week 10 in the NFL had some scores that made you scratch your head a little bit. Got big news coming out of a couple camps with quarterback changes and some teams looking dangerous and some maybe the results aren't as bad as they look, but we will discuss. I now want to bring in my very, very good friend way back from Texas. We've been friends for a while, been watching football for a while, and I want to bring him in. Mr. Donnie Shoemaker, my friend. How are you, sir?
Howdy, y'all. Thank you for the invite, Britt, and I appreciate it. Let's talk
Oh,
about some football.
yes, sir. Coming out, we saw not a great performance from the quarterback out of Carolina. Matt Rule has come out, said that Cam Newton is trending to start. Of course, he's back in after being let go, after he sort of fell apart after the loss to Denver in that Super Bowl. Had a little stint in New England, really couldn't get it going. They cut ties and they have him back in. Got him for a couple plays this week. Nothing really to jump out, but what do you think about him coming back and being the quarterback again for this Carolina offense?
All I got to say is, I'm back. The thing is, you know, did Carolina need Cam Newton or did Cam Newton need Carolina? Because it didn't seem either one of them were doing very well without the other. It's good to see him back and scoring those points. What was it like? What'd you say, 43rd
Right,
touchdown and both running and throwing
correct. In
cut
his
through the air.
career, he is a quarterback that I mean, we'll see what he has left, see what they can do. But I kind of find it interesting. He's back, and they're talking about him possibly starting. Sticking on quarterbacks, looks like the Jets are going to be making a quarterback change. I guess White is banged up, and they're not sure if he's going to go. So, welcome back, Joe Flacco, to be the starting quarterback for the
Do you
Jets
even want to
against
be
Miami.
the Jets quarterback? Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I get it, Joe Flacco. I'd stand in there to get paid too, but it's just, man, I love the Jets. I love the organization. They have their reputation from back in the day, but man, they are not what they used to be. And I hope they can finally start drafting some players correctly.
Well, that's the thing about the Jets, man. Right when Goodell steps out there, even before they announce their first pick, they're already booing the pick. So you gotta love
I know.
the Jets for that, man. But yeah, he's not going to save their season, is he?
No,
He's
no.
maybe he could get things going, maybe ruin a couple other teams' season. But as far as building the Jets up and a long-term solution, it looks like the Jets once again are in a search for their next quarterback, and that
Yeah,
search continues.
that's
Long,
true.
frustrating search.
I think I
Yeah,
think what they're thinking about now is what they need to draft in the future. So if they can get this to work out with the quarterbacks selection, then maybe they can draft somebody different, except the quarterback. 'Cause, like, how many times they drafted a quarterback in the last couple of years?
right. Yeah, we have a comment here. That's not me. That's actually the old man. Thanks for joining, sir. He's all behind Flacco. Oh, sarcasm. My bad. So yeah, doesn't look like that's gonna do too much. Um, only other headline really I had much like New England. They're looking to a team that's getting ready for the playoffs, and as a member of Bill's Mafia, it's really hard, and I don't like seeing them getting their stuff together. But once again, they're running the ball, they're moving the ball, and they have a pretty good weekend again with Stevenson stepping up in the run game, which is what they lacked and what you need in the NFL. What do you think about them? You think they can
How do
catch
you
my
feel about that,
Bills?
Brett?
Oh
Because,
man,
like, all
I
right, Tom
don't feel,
Brady's gone, all right,
and
and
they're
now the
still
Bills are
here.
going to
Yeah,
run through. Josh Allen, man, he's a beast. I'm not going to say he's not. You don't have a run game, and your wide receiver game is, it's par. It's nothing to write home about, but it's just like you were supposed to do so much better now that Tom Brady's gone, and now you
right,
got, you know, like Mac Jones, come on now. Is so basically, if you're a quarterback who's starting out, hit up Bill Belichick because you will be the real deal soon.
right,
But
and go to Alabama and get prepared for the NFL by Nick
okay,
Saban
fair enough,
because
fair
he's
enough.
putting out gems.
But hey, Alabama lost to A&M. I know it was a while ago, but come on, Texas, right?
Long yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, with that, man, let's hit up some of these week 10 scores and games. Like I said, there are some games that you're watching and you're just like, wow, people paid to sit in this stadium and watch that. Not not cool. Didn't make for good watching some of them, but some good games.
Any day
First
in the
one,
stadium's a good day.
the first one, it can't go without being mentioned, but Green Bay holds Seattle to no points. Russell Wilson can't get anything going. And it's not like Green Bay was doing anything special either. Slow start for both. We're talking a halftime score, 3-0. And Green Bay really doesn't get anything really in until the fourth quarter, which we refer to as garbage time, so it makes the game out bigger than it was. But I don't know. I don't think there are too much positives to take away from any of these. Russell Wilson did not look good. Two
I agree there.
interceptions, red
Yes.
zone.
He just coming back from injuries is going to be hard anytime. So saying that it was easy to come back and blah blah blah, it's just, and I get it. Aaron was out for the COVID, but the truth is, I think if one of them had to do well, it should have been Aaron. I mean, 23 out of 37 and no touchdowns. Like, what are you doing there? Uh, honestly think it was a lack of effort from Seattle, not a big game for Green Bay. Green Bay is going to go back and really think about this win because did they deserve it? If you're a Green Bay fan, yes, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't know. It is their first shutout since 2018, but it's, and it is, I look at, I think what Russell Wilson is a great quarterback. He was the original guy who really got there. I mean, Michael Vick was the original runner, but like, if out of this new trend, it has to be Russell Wilson. But he has failed in the last couple of years to really, produce what he was producing in the beginning, and it does suck for him. But maybe he'll come back from this and see how, push the Seattle Seahawks forward.
Right. Yeah. Getting back in will be key for Russell. Getting attached to Metcalf because he's turning out. He's a real good target for
Gosh,
Russell
right?
Wilson. I mean, 20 for 40 throwing the ball for Wilson, 161 yards and two crucial crucial interceptions, which you don't see. But as in a lot of games we've been watching this year, you're seeing a lot of things that you haven't seen before. And
It's a new landscape for sure.
yeah, he has to get better. Then of course, Green Bay still able to run the ball pretty effectively without the big man toting the rock. Dylan stepped in, did pretty well, got in the end zone twice. Devonta Adams, though, he didn't get his touchdown. 11 targets, 7 catches, 78 yards. It's not a horrible day unless you're talking to fantasy owner. He would have loved that touchdown. But yeah, Seattle needs to get something going on the run game. You tell me 75 yards on the ground. I mean, Green Bay's defense isn't that good. 133 through the air. Green Bay's offense was pedestrian. Rushed for 100, threw for over 250. So average, you're going to win half the games. You're going to lose half those games. And I mean, like, it probably a real good thing that, it was Seattle who showed up to town and, not somebody else.
Now, do you think Devonta Adams does he need to look elsewhere, or is he going to be a die-hard, live and die Green Bay player?
Uh, Man, it would really have to depend on his feeling to how much Aaron
I
has
know.
left because their love isn't love is not the answer for the next quarterback for Green Bay.
No,
So
it's
I
not.
think that
But
would hold a lot into what Devontae Adams would end up doing. But he'd be able to go anywhere, play with any, put a good, I know you can say this about any wide receiver, but you put a good quarterback back there, Devontae Adams, he's going to be top wide receiver in the league for my money.
I just think, do you hold on to Love and try to get a running game going? Not dissing Aaron Jones by any means, right? But do you find somebody who's really going to be able to tote the ball on a regular basis? Because Aaron Jones is good, but it is that hit and miss situation, and you cannot run a successful team without a running back. And I'm a wide receiver guy. Like, don't get me wrong, I love wide receivers. That's it.
So is the
Like, come
NFL.
on, but you know, you have to run the ball. You have to, and that's why the Browns are the best team ever. But that's here nor there. We'll talk about that later.
Oh yeah. I don't. The run game is very important, and the situation for um, Green Bay to have another running back uh, than to have another quarterback. They're probably going to run into the running back need before they will
That's what I'm thinking.
replacing Aaron Rodgers because I don't know these quarterbacks today, man. They're keeping on going. They're
He's got at
keeping
least one or
going.
two. At least he's teaching these guys for the next year or two.
Right. And like we've seen with Aaron through this whole COVID thing, he takes his mind, his body, and his family and his personal health into account in his decisions.
Fair enough. Yeah,
Hence
and
is
he
why
makes a
he
good meme too.
he always does. uh yeah, let's move on to Jacksonville Indy. I mean, there's really no other reason to circle this game as other apart than Jonathan Taylor. I mean that he looks to be a real deal. It's like every week. I mean, you're not seeing a whole lot about this Indiana offense. They're really not producing, but Jonathan Taylor still being very effective, moving the ball. I mean, the kid's got all the talent in the world,
Dude's
I
got
think.
legs, for sure. He does.
Wentz Wentz isn't that good. He had good shots for a while. This looked like a good move for him, a starting quarterback role. But I don't know. I mean, they get the job done against Jacksonville. I guess that's the important thing. They started out really good, but kind of like you alluded to pre-show, as Taylor faded off and that run game faded off for Indy, so did their production. And
Nah.
how they allowed Jacksonville to slow them down is beyond me. But big win for Indy. Jacksonville keeps on going through troubles. Trevor Lawrence, I don't like to close the book on anybody. It's not fair. I don't know if it's the coaching. I'm not a big fan of Urban Meyer anyway. It's not working.
Okay. So you think that's it for Lawrence? The thing
I
is, man,
I'm not going that far.
we can never give these new guys any time. The thing is, as soon as they get drafted, you better perform in 3 months or you're getting cut. And is that fair to them? I don't know. But
It,
one
well,
thing
it's
I
definitely
can,
not fair.
I
Definitely
mean,
not
yes, of
fair.
course, but
But NFL
honestly,
win now.
I think Indiana struggles in the mid game, right? Because you're looking at Wentz, he's at a 91% passing rating from 9 or less yards, right? And then we go to the mid game from 10 to 19 yards, he's 39.6%. But then you go to 20 plus yards, 118% passing rating. So basically, you're telling me you're playing either really close to the chest or far out. You need to structure your team. You need to get those solid mid games because you're going to pull you're going to pull the defense closer to you, and then you're going to be able to run the ball more. But when you throw the ball or you run the ball, you throw the ball at a far distance, they're obviously going to eat that up. You need to get stronger in your mid game, and I think Indianapolis, excuse me, I said Indiana before, but it's really, they have a solid defense, in my opinion. And everybody says, but they have proven themselves over the last 2 years. And I really think if they buckle down, I don't think Wentz is the answer. I never have. I think the Eagles did better for themselves releasing him, and I hate saying that because he did ball out and get them to basically the Super Bowl, a couple years ago. But he's a good journeyman, but he's not the best because obviously Fitzpatrick is the best journeyman ever. But
You love you
but
some Pittsburgh, man.
but I think that they have the pieces in place where they could build on a team. They just they need to structure themselves in a certain way. They will get there, but I think that is a team to really be looking at, and the league should be a little scared about them.
Dude, and not to mention that division, that's a good division to be in, doing how Indy's doing. And like you said, they need to utilize the mid range passing game more effectively because, like you said, if you ignore that mid passing game, what are the linebackers even worried about?
Nothing.
Nothing. So eventually, even a running back as good as Jonathan Taylor, as the game progresses,
Dude's
he has
good.
less and
Like
less
that's
room.
that's all there is to
Yeah,
say about it.
and
Dude's
even
good.
he becomes less effective. You need that middle passing game to
Yeah.
open up the running game. And if they can do that, they can get some things going.
No,
But
for real. What'd you tell
yeah.
me earlier? 93 yards in the first quarter.
Oh, for
Like,
Jonathan Taylor.
yeah,
Yeah, the
that
end of the
matches
first.
his average this year. 93 yards. Come on now. If you're not winning with 93 yards in the first quarter, what are you doing? We're not the Atlanta Falcons playing Tom Brady 27 up. Like,
Right.
we need to win.
Yeah, and to that point, good thing they were playing Jacksonville because this game they might have not been able to hold on to this game with the ineffectiveness as the game grew on that Indianapolis had. So yeah, they still got work to do, but they're probably trending in the right direction, heading a good way. And like I said, with the mess of that division, they're in the perfect division to work and progress because they'll have more time. It's not like you're getting slaughtered by New England every year for a number of years.
I know. I mean, they don't have Manning in there throwing the ball anymore. So
Dude, right?
shoot. But another thing, Jacksonville. Shout out to Robinson. Dude's killing it.
Oh, yeah, he's
This is
starting
his
off all
second
right.
year. One more year, I think he'll be on a better team. We're wrapping
Yeah.
up with the contracts, so I think he'll be somebody to look at in the further years.
Oh, definitely, definitely. He can definitely get some production, and he'll produce for a team. Uh, Carolina takes care of Arizona pretty easily. I mean, I understand this is a Colt McCoy led Arizona offense, which you don't expect too much anyway, but and missing your top wide receiver as well. I mean, that can't be passed over. It needs to be mentioned. But once again, Arizona comes off to a slow start, even with Kyler Murray in there. That this team starts off slow. Arizona or Carolina just jumped on them. Throw in Cam Newton for a couple plays. The man runs in a touchdown. Like right off the get go, this is okay. Everything's going to work for Carolina today. Arizona needs to step up. I mean, you're not prepared for this game. You think it was just missing some key elements, or is there's something on that defense? Because that defense has been a little suspect all year, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better.
No, I feel you. Like truthfully, as somebody who watches the games on a regular basis, Arizona has not really been like somebody I've looked at too much until the last couple of years with Kyler Murray, and they really have been stepping their game up. And that is like, I mean, is it all him? I don't want to say yes, but I don't really want to say no either. Like the dude is a beast. And the thing is, I think with Carolina, I think they were trying to find. And was it Carolina or was it more so like Cam Newton? He did struggle there for a couple years, but I think that has to do with the Tom Brady curse, which we'll get into later because I mean it's the truth, and I mean that's just the way it goes. But like he did struggle. He went from I'm slinging yogurt and almost winning the Super Bowl to I'm barely getting my team to the playoffs. And so I really do think it was a mixture of both, but it is good to see that Cam Newton's back. He looks happy, looked fly as always, getting back in there and like winning a game. I mean, that says a lot, because it really boosts the confidence, and McCaffrey's back and, he's playing, what was it? What'd you say? What was what did he run?
Oh,
His output?
McCaffrey had a really good day. He had what some 88 over 80 through the where is it? See, now you made me lose it.
All right. Anyway, he did beast it up. Britt's gonna find it, but like, it's just it's is it that mixture, that chemistry, I mean, I honestly think the way that things are going, he should you're gonna see him more active. You're gonna see Carolina win more because that that dome is known for its ferocity, So when they're out there winning, you're gonna get the 12th man on that. And I honestly think that they're gonna do better moving forward. I honestly think because Cam Newton left New England, they're doing better. I just don't think that was a good mix. I think that was a play to see how things were going to go. It didn't pan out, and now everybody's moving forward. The thing that I think that's the most funny, right, is there's a salary cap, and they full circled it, right? They're paying for Cam Newton's replacement, which is Bridgewater, and then they traded him to Denver, and then they're paying for Darnold, and they got rid of him, and now they're paying for Cam Newton. So it's like, all right, guys, we obviously messed up.
Yeah,
This is a quarterback we want,
yeah,
so we need
yeah.
to
They
just.
have a lot of money in the quarterback,
I
so
mean,
they
shoot,
eventually
dude.
got it right. Yeah,
I mean, I could throw the
McCaffrey.
ball. Like, let me know if you need me to be
Give
quarterback.
you a shot, right?
Like,
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
McCaffrey had 13 carries for 95 yards, 10 catches for 66 yards, and he caught all 10 of his targets.
That's beast. That dude is solid, and I'm glad to see him back at it
Yeah,
because his injuries did not need to stop his career. Last year it was rough on him, but I think he's gonna really get after it in the next couple of years. Like, look at
no,
Derrick Henry. 3, 4 years he was kind of struggling. Dude's probably the best running back in the league. Yeah, he's hurt right now. He's on the sidelines, but he's a beast. But we all know that Kamara is the best running back in the league. But whatever.
Yeah, yeah. As for Arizona, man, they got to get something on the ground game going. Big up to the Carolina defense for stepping up 65 yards on the ground for Arizona. I
That's
mean,
impressive.
yeah, I don't think it's all just Arizona not being ready to play because this past few weeks that Carolina defense has been stepping it up, and that's a team that the defense was what always stuck out to you when you talked about Carolina. It was that mean defense when they were really good. They had a good defense, and they're starting to get up. And I mean, I don't know, like you're saying, is it the Cam Newton effect? But this is Carolina's highest point total.
I want to see those yogurt commercials again.
And yeah, but 2 touchdowns for Cam coming back, ran one in, like you said, ran one in, threw one in for the 43rd time in his career, which is just amazing. And he's keeping it going. But you're right, definitely happy in the situation. He's playing happy. He didn't see a whole lot, but with the very, very poor performance out of their starting quarterback, Walker. Yeah, Mr. Walker. I can understand Cam getting a nod and just see, hey, he's back. Let's check it out. Maybe. Who knows? I
Think he's
don't.
gonna get the look next week?
Uh, Matt Rue says he's trending in that direction, but I don't know. You know how it is
Is it a
creating.
home or away game? Do you know?
I know it's against Washington.
Okay.
I know
All
that for a
right.
fact. Um,
Because I feel like if it's a home game, they're definitely gonna let them pull the trigger.
oh, dude,
Like, I mean, those fans were going wild for Newton last week.
they're on the road in Atlanta.
Okay. Well, I think
So,
we'll definitely
road
see
game,
him.
which that could be,
You
I
know,
mean, I know Atlanta can be a hard place to play inside that dome. Being brand,
yeah.
well, I mean, not brand new much anymore, is it? Well, it's a couple years. It's still brand new, but
Well,
yeah, that'll be interesting to watch.
we all know Matty Ice will be iced out by the third quarter. So,
Right.
yeah.
And one of my favorite subjects to talk about. Washington holds on to a victory against Tampa Bay, 29-19. Of course, Chase Young out for the season. He's going to be missed. Hope he recovers well because he exciting player. And I know they were looking forward to seeing what he could do. But man, this game,
They were saying what it was like the. See, the thing I hate when commentators talk about Tom Brady is like, if this is the bad game for him, that's the end of his career, right? It's like, this is the worst game he's had in 10 years. Like, I'm sorry. Are you 43 throwing the rock to a professional team? I don't think so. So, like, give the dude some credit, man.
right?
Like,
Yeah,
shoot.
very quick to this is the end of Tom Brady, but I don't think that. I mean, I think this is much of a blip as this could be. I mean, it probably is. They'll probably get it fixed. I mean, that touchdown pass to Evans down the sideline
Haven't
was
seen my boy, dude.
very, very
I
good pitch
know,
and
man.
catch.
I
He's a
mean, I
good
hope he.
receiver. Tom Brady's a good
Yeah.
quarterback. They gotta get it going. They would just, I mean, when you start off the game with an offensive penalty and you're forced to punt on your first drive, like things
I
things
know.
aren't
I
going to
know.
go. I mean, you had a lot of drop balls in this game.
They
Uh,
didn't score till the third, right?
dude,
It
it
was
was
bad.
horrible.
It was
This
like
was a
one. It
horrible
was like
game to
220 through
watch.
the air all day.
Yeah, Washington was finding open spots in that Tampa Bay defense, which people were saying, this is gonna be a good defense. Washington just seemed like they picked them apart in the secondary. This Tampa
Yeah.
Bay seems so off. Their first four penalties were all pre-snap penalties. You're
Okay.
just, like, I
Yeah.
mean, they had no rhythm. I mean, with a quarterback like Tom Brady, a coach as in Bruce Arians, you have to feel that they'll clean this up and they'll go back on the business as usual. Or do you
Do
think
you
it's
think
something
that? No,
bigger?
no. Do you think like Tom Brady's like, yo, I'm gonna pretend to really be bad and like beats them? Because every time he has a bad game, right, then he comes up and kills it. And I'm
What?
just saying, is he like playing with us? He's like, yo, I know I'm really good. Like I can't be beat until I retire. So pretty much, I'm gonna pretend to be bad so people think they got my strategy, and I'm gonna go kill it. I'm just saying because he needled through the thread when he passed it to Evans, and then all of a sudden, like he couldn't do anything else. And granted, I really do believe in Washington. I think they're a good up and coming team. I think they they do need some players to fix some spots, but I mean, so does every team. But
Dude, no
did I think
kidding, man.
did I think they were gonna beat Tampa? No, but maybe. Football's a game, so you play the game.
It is,
And
but nobody
do you
expected.
pretend to lose to a team nobody expects you to lose? So people are like, "Oh, I'm not scared of them." And then Tom Brady is hoisting the Super Bowl trophy over his head in a couple months, you know?
dropping it in the
And then
dropping
like,
it in Tampa Bay,
you know what I'm saying? Falling off boats a week later. Like
partying in Ybor.
like shoot, I don't know. But all I know is that team's not going anywhere anytime soon. And
Yeah,
I think Washington is a good team, but they shouldn't have beat. There's no reason they should have beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
no, that
None
defense was
whatsoever.
too soft, and Washington was able to pick them apart.
Because
And
that was a strong defense last year, and they're not as strong as they have been or last year, this year, but they're no means a weak defense. You
right,
know?
yeah, they're better than what they're playing. It just looked weird. That defense looked soft. You had one
Yeah.
game where you had Miami's defense. They're flying around. This seems like they're blitzing Baltimore on every freaking play. And then you watch this Tampa Bay defense, and it's like are they
Yeah.
playing a different game?
I'm
Like,
glad you brought up the Dolphins defense, man. They're killing it. I
well, I
mean,
mean,
they're
since I
stepping into
did
their
bring
game.
that, yeah, since I brought him up, I mean,
Shout out to Robert Hunt for that almost touchdown. Big man almost got a touchdown. It's gonna go. You're gonna see that on highlights for years. It's gonna be plugged into those like screens that they play before the highlight reels for
right.
sure.
Yeah. Well, before we'll talk about that game, but before that, um, just 'cause it should have been noted, Ben missed the game due to COVID, and Detroit and Pittsburgh play to a oh man, just a bad draw. 16-16 at the end of a 10-minute overtime. Had to be one of the worst overtimes I've seen in my life. Nobody wants to win. You have turnovers in
No,
the end zone. I mean, these two quarterbacks on display with some of the worst quarterbacking that I've seen. It the
well,
only
Mason Rudolph played last year.
uh,
He was their
Mason
backup
Rudolph.
last year, and
Yeah, he's
then
been the backup for a while.
and Golf has plenty of experience. I think
Yeah,
really this was a better game for Detroit than Pittsburgh because you need a win, but you don't get a loss. So it's like, okay, I guess we're moving up.
yeah, we didn't lose. I
Yeah.
mean, that's their slogan. Hey, we didn't lose. But I mean, you put Big Ben in this game, Pittsburgh runs away with this because
Yeah, definitely.
some of those passes from
Definitely.
Mason, I mean, not all of them were, and this goes for both quarterbacks. Not all of these were their fault. Lots of balls bouncing off the shoulder pads of wide receivers, but they're missing wide open passes that you're just not used to seeing. The only notes really, I mean, Swift's a good running back. He proves it up once again. He gets some work in, has a decent game. Najee Harris for Pittsburgh out of the University of Alabama, another Alabama guy Nick Saban
Gosh,
coached, well prepared
right?
for the NFL. They got how many wide receivers
I mean, honestly,
in the
if
league
you go
too?
to Alabama, you're
You're
going to
gonna
the
be ready for
NFL.
the NFL if
Like,
you go to
right,
Alabama,
right. Like,
man. It
come
don't
on now,
matter where
man.
you play. I
Shoot.
mean, we'll get to Mac. I mean, yeah, Mac Jones. He's different from the other quarterbacks Alabama have been putting out, where he's more of a pocket style quarterback. But we'll get to him in that game. But yeah, this was just
Do you think
horrible
Detroit
on
misses
both.
Stafford?
If Stafford was the quarterback for Detroit in this game, Detroit would have won this game.
Do you think
But
that
if it's
really?
yes, I do.
Okay.
Assuming everything is the same and the only thing you're changing is
So he bettered himself by leaving?
yes,
Okay, yeah, I think so too.
yeah, he definitely did. You
Because I've been
see,
watching Detroit since, Megatron and Stafford were like linking up, and so it's hard for
right,
me to like look at Detroit without Stafford.
correct, yeah,
But I think Stafford's turning into somebody that everybody said he could be in
yeah,
Detroit, but never
yeah,
was.
exactly. Stafford's the
Uh,
quarterback in LA. It's still weird saying that.
weird, weird. Yeah.
In LA that Detroit thought they were drafting. And he did all right, just no playoff wins. He has some blemishes, but that was not a good team.
Talking about West Coast teams, what do you think about Herbert, man?
Uh Herbert, man,
Dude's like
Herbert's a
legit.
very, very good quarterback. I I think he's probably in a running candidate for possibly for MVP. I think he's a
Really?
very exciting quarterback. He's a big guy. Um, if uh, I mean, they've got to figure out a way to get the ball to somebody else besides Keenan Allen.
Are you talking about the Chargers? I thought that was
Chargers.
yeah, okay, yeah. Keenan Allen, yeah. I don't know, man. I know that they don't got too much to go with, but
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
when go
go
ahead.
for it. Bud. No, go for it. I
Because
don't want to interrupt you.
I mean, this past week, of course, the Chargers they lose to Minnesota
I
27-20.
know, dude.
Um,
Mike
they,
Zimmer and them have been sucking it up. Why did they lose to them? And hey, I get it. Every dog has its day,
but
but
it's not just Kirk Cousins on the road. 12
okay,
touchdowns,
Kirk
one
Cousins. Is that what you're
interception.
saying? Kirk Cousins is beating Herbert? No,
No, no,
nah,
no. I'm
never,
not saying that.
not once.
I'm just
They could
saying Kirk.
throw. I want to see him in the Pro Bowl doing those Hawaiian like throw through the tire
He's
things
not
and see
good
who
enough
wins.
to be. He's not a Pro Bowl
No,
quarterback.
no,
All I'm just
no.
saying, 12 touchdowns and one interception on the road this year. He's better on the road than he is at home. Is it
Okay,
still a surprise? Yeah, I didn't think Minnesota was beating the Chargers.
I
But
didn't
when
think so
Keenan
either.
Allen has 98 receiving yards and the rest of the team has 97,
I mean,
I know that's not all Herbert, of course. Um, they need to get a bit more on the ground game. I mean, Eckler's good, but I mean, he just 59 yards on the ground for him, and he's supposed to be your big running back, right? He did get a score, but
yeah.
Eckler's the running back we're looking to. I
And
mean,
he's been doing good this
Herbert
year.
though,
He hasn't been doing bad. I mean, he hasn't been like beasting it up, but I mean, he's
right?
keeping it consistent.
Herbert didn't have a good day.
And
I
Keenan
mean,
Allen, man, I love the dude, but he does like seem to get banged up or kind of like falter for a little bit, you know. Um, you remember back in the day when they had Gates,
oh,
right?
dude,
Philly Ribs, man. Shout out
Philip
Philly Ribs,
Rivers,
man. You're
dude.
the G, dude. You're a real G. But anyway, back to the
Yeah,
real the real
because
time
they,
play.
yeah, and then like with Keenan Allen, they've got to get Mike Williams going
Yeah,
because no touchdowns in the last 4 games.
I
I
know.
mean, and with Herbert, he's been a couple games. I know they won last week, but lost 3 out of the 4.
So
It,
back to your MVP, because you said something about him potentially being
I
MVP. If
think
you were
he
to
should be in the
say
conversation
who do you think the MVP should be right
right
now?
now.
If you were to pick, you know.
I'm going Josh Allen, bud.
Oh my gosh. I'm talking about realistically, all right? I'm not talking about your dreams. Josh Allen's really good. He
I'm
really is.
talking.
I'm
No,
not saying he's not.
I mean, there's a good chance. I mean,
I
it.
hope the Jets beat the Bills. By the way, Mr. Smith.
There's still one more game. I think.
I
Yeah,
know.
there is.
Yeah.
Uh, Probably Tom Brady, dude.
Really, Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Is this like a cop out?
No, no. He's
Really?
still doing Tom Brady things,
I
man.
think Cooper Cup, man.
I Very good wide receiver, Cooper Cup. I
Dude,
love
so
Cooper Cup.
good. Dude,
I
so
don't.
good,
I
man.
don't know. Nobody can find an answer for him. I know.
Gosh, man, like killing it, man.
Just if Tom
Killing it.
Brady has a
Killing
good
it. If you're
year,
not a wide receiver fan, you're looking into getting to wide receivers, Cooper Cup. All right. He's the real deal.
yeah. But you think Chargers get it back together, or is this something that sounds like they're just coming back to Charger land?
I think
And
they're better than they were before, and I hate dissing Philly Ribs, but I think they're at a different level now. You know, Herbert's good. He's good. He's not just good. I don't want to say great, but he's like what's the word between those two? That would be what he was.
he has a high ceiling,
He
high
dude's good,
ceiling,
man. You know, you don't worry about him. He's gonna go out there and ball out,
right? Well,
and you
talking
can't
about,
always ball out, but he's got the goods, man.
yeah, he should get it back together. Um, well, talking about that Miami defense, I mean, they go hold Baltimore, beat
Killing it,
them
man.
10-22. Miami
Gosh,
kind of upticking too, but I think their uptick is overshadowed by the New England uptick, which you can understand. I
we're
mean,
not
you
talking
just
about New England. We're talking about Miami right now.
right,
Okay,
right.
they
That's
must
right.
teach they must teach kids how to play some defense in Florida. That's all I know, man.
Yeah,
Dude, they're good, man. You know, the thing is like they don't get enough credit. They don't. But they're
no,
probably the second worst team behind the Jets.
I did. Yeah, they leave a lot wanting, but I really like how defense they kept the pressure on Lamar Jackson all game. We're talking in the first half, they blitzed him 9 times,
Okay.
kept pressure on him, and Jackson, he was still finding some running lanes, but just not enough to be effective. And once again, Baltimore is running in the third down and not able to convert these third downs. I think they were,
They don't have a running game.
uh,
Jackson is their running game.
it, you
Okay.
can't.
So like if you shut down
I know
Jackson,
Latavius Murray missed his third straight game,
you know, I never
but
was hyped about that guy. I know he puts in a mediocre amount of work, and I hate saying that because look, I understand these guys are super good at what they do, but like if we're talking about it for real, like Baltimore needs a running back. You know, Marquise Brown's a decent wide receiver.
mhm,
They got potentially, top four, top five quarterback. They need a running game. They were trying to lean on what's it, Alex Collins? That's who they were trying to lean on early this year. Or was that last year? I don't know.
Uh,
I think it was relatively soon. I think it was this year, and then it flattened out. So who's running the ball right now?
well,
You can't expect your quarterback to run, throw, and then maybe some guys, in the secondary can do some work whenever it's necessary for them. That's not how it works.
right. Yeah, they do have to get the ground game going. That should help with um, alleviating some of these, making third and manageables, and get these third down conversions up. And because I had them picked to be, I mean, they're still in prime position, running up at the top of that division. But I mean, if they don't fix third down, if the defense doesn't fix all these busted coverages, I mean, that they're probably still prime for at least a wild card, because Pittsburgh's really not doing anything to take control of that division. So it looks like it's still Baltimore's, but it's just like this whole conversation, man. It's basically main theme. Everybody has holes, and even the good
Yeah,
teams are
yeah.
losing. How Baltimore losing 10-22 to Miami?
And we
Like,
all can't be,
come on.
the Giants and Eli Manning going into the Super Bowl, going into the playoffs.
Yeah, Baltimore
So
started 0 for 5 on
yeah,
third down.
and the thing is, the dude's got tenacity. Lamar Jackson, you can see it in his face when he's on the sidelines. He is upset that the team is performing the way they are, you know.
Right.
But you're only so good, and I mean, you need people to throw it to you. Not everybody's Tom Brady, and you can make a team just by yourself. That's just not how it is.
Hmm.
By the way, I don't think Tom Brady's the best quarterback ever, but I know I hype him up a bunch. But the thing is like, man, that team needs it. And look at Flacco, man. He won one Super Bowl and he spent his whole career there. I don't know if suffering, because Lamar Jackson has way more potential and aptitude than Flacco did. 100%, no question. So, what does he do? You know, because what is this his last? This is the end of his rookie contract year.
Uh, I think they have yet to lock him up,
That's what I'm saying. Like,
because I
if
think
I
that
was
was a
him,
big talking point of why they wouldn't go in for Odell Beckham, because they just didn't have the cap space, because they have a lot of key players still
okay,
that they
talking
need
about
to lock
yeah,
up.
yeah. Talking about that, do you think that was the Browns or not utilizing him correctly, or that
It
he
was
couldn't
it was
function
Odell
in the
Beckham.
system? Me too, 100%. Yep,
He
yep.
wants freedom in route running. He wants the ball, even though he was the most targeted player on that team. He still wanted
Landry's
the
way
ball
better.
more.
He's got
His
like the passer rating that he has is like what, like 98, 99. He's dropped like two
yeah,
passes in his whole career. Not his whole career, but like it's probably like less than a handful, less than five. Dude's good.
yeah. His dad or brother, who whatever, always tweeting out times where Odell Beckham Jr. is open and Baker Mayfield didn't throw him the ball,
Yeah.
even though he's still the most targeted player on the team.
And I hate saying
But
it, but his whole career is based on one catch.
it,
And I'm not a wide receiver. I couldn't do what he did, but like one catch, that behind the hand catch that was on top of Madden, on the cover of Madden a couple years ago. That's it. They
it's
paid
looking
him
like
out. The
it.
dude bought a Bentley. You know what I'm saying? And like they never could get him to do what he was supposed to do. And Mayfield is a good quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And they got the best running tandem in the league last year. Maybe not this year, but last year for sure. So they should have balled out last year. Browns
Right.
should have made it. You know?
And they have problems without
Chubb Hunt for life,
that
yo.
running back.
Hashtag.
He's a good, he's
But
very,
like, you know what
very
I'm saying?
good. Yeah.
So it just, man, I don't know. I hope he does better moving forward. But it's just I don't I don't expect that much out of him, and I hate saying that because I feel like a downer, but that's just how I feel.
Right. He's gonna have to step up though. Hopefully he does. New England trounces Cleveland 45-7. Game
That was a
started off
you didn't watch
tight.
the right game.
Started off tight, but then New England just rolled away with it. Mac Jones, 3 passing touchdowns. Very good day. Stevenson, this New England Patriot team has found their running game, and I hate saying this, man. They're looking, they are looking strong and come playoff team, come
You think he
playoff
took
time.
Harris's spot? You
I
think Stevenson took Harris's spot?
I think they'll keep Harris running the toting the rock. Bill Belichick, he knows what he's doing. He'll keep Stevenson in there. I would have to say so.
I know, man. They're honestly they might be just as good now moving forward.
They're good. I mean, another 30 points again. Bill Belichick just continues to own his former employer. 8-2 against the Browns since he's left. Uh,
Okay.
he's 134-8, scoring over 30 points. I
Hey,
mean,
did you see
he
that how the
should be that
Browns
good.
running backs weren't playing yet last
Yeah,
last week? Okay,
I
I didn't
did.
know if you heard that.
That New England defense is playing good. I know it's a good point to make. I mean,
They are,
99
man.
yards on the ground,
They're a
not
team to be reckoned with.
something you're used to seeing from Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland normally they are better than this. We saw them last year, but this year, I don't know. They're just missing too much. Everybody caught
I
on.
know.
Everybody watched the film, or they got too hyped. But I know they're missing a lot of pieces. I mean, the defense. I
What are you
mean, they
talking
didn't
about?
play
What?
very good.
I know, dude. They need wide receivers. They have a solid defense. It's not grade A, but it's like B minus, B
No,
plus. You can still
but
pass with that.
217 total yards. I mean, you got to do better than that.
They balled out. New England balled out, man. They showed them what's up. They said, Browns, you ain't shit. Like, go sit down on the bench, man.
Yeah, 9% on third down. That New England defense stepped up, shut them down.
What do you
Cleveland
think
allowing
about
5
Henry?
sacks. Uh, hey,
Right?
he's a very very good tight end. I think he's great for Mac Jones. Gives him a nice target. We saw in what was then San Diego. He's a good tight end. He can get the job done. You put him in a good offense like New England, be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, protect my football, and that's what he done. That's what he's doing, and I think he's really really good for him. Um, just a couple of the other quick scores. Um, Dallas crushes Atlanta 43-3.
Go
Dallas
Texas.
getting back on track.
I
Tennis,
know, right? I hope they don't win
Derrick
just
Henry
because
list Tennessee finds out a way to win without their most key player. They beat New Orleans. I think anytime you can get a win without your key player, I think it's a really good win. So
New
they
Orleans
went
didn't have Kamara.
true,
Just a
very very
side
true,
note.
very tight game.
But hey,
Uh,
Mark Ingram scored his second touchdown of the year.
mm-hmm. Yep. Philly takes care of Denver 30-13. I don't think much of Denver. I don't that
Did you
defense
see?
started off good,
Did you
but
see Bridgewater just kind of like back up?
oh
He threw that pick six and he was like, "No,
dude,
nah, nah,
run and try to make the tackle,
I ain't
man.
tackling that." But
Uh
the thing is like the NFL is like it's a business, man. So like you want to ball out for your team, but also your team can do that on you in a real quick second. So do
right.
you think Bridgewater is just kind of at the end of his career, or
I
you
don't think
think he doesn't
he's
think that Denver is the place he's going to be at?
I don't think Teddy's that good of a quarterback, and it's been for the past couple years, whoever the quarterback for Denver is, you've been able to say that
Okay,
they're in a quarterback search.
so you don't think
Uh,
it has anything to do with
I don't
Bridgewater?
think
Just the
Bridgewater
system.
is the answer.
I mean, he's not. I mean,
But
I give the guy credit for even still toting the ball or throwing the ball, like, period. Like, if my leg was completely shattered, the last thing I'd be thinking about is, can I get back on that field? Because, I
right,
mean, he almost lost his leg. So, what does one major hit do?
right, exactly.
Uh,
Uh, Kansas City takes care of the Raiders very, very easily. Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City offense seems to be back on track. Hit a skid, but
Tom Brady,
they
Tom Brady curse.
seem like they're getting back on track. Still up there in conversation. Uh, Debuts for Odell Beckham and his name skipped my mind. Von Miller.
Dang, you got
Thank
that
you.
information background over there. What's up?
Yeah, I got
I know
my researcher.
they took him out. They took him out at the end of the game because they kept having to go to huddle because he didn't have that much knowledge of the system. I don't know if that's what cost them the loss.
Mm,
I just because they weren't going to huddle really too much before. Like, it was more like, let's hit these
right, and
four
it
downs
probably
real
threw
quick,
through
or let's not
everything.
even get four downs. But now it's like, let's wait and let the defense see what we're doing. Because I'm sorry, defensive players are like 35 to like 38. They've been in the league for like 10 years. They're big dudes who know the
Right,
systems. So you're really not going to be able to fool them too much. And so
correct.
you stopping and waiting to make sure that your new wide receiver knows the plays is probably not the best game played
Right,
this week.
and it
Like,
did
it
not
didn't.
work out. And I mean, I don't think it really, as far
Yeah.
as the playoff picture, really does anything, changes anything at all. I suspect the Rams, they'll go back to like, look, we got to keep on doing what we're
They
doing.
better. You tell me
We
Herbert,
over
Cup.
we overthought we overthought ourselves,
Yeah.
and we beat ourselves in our brain before it all got started because we tried to change everything to accommodate a new player, and it just did not work out for them.
Because
Um,
they picked him up because Woods was down, right? Woods is down IR.
no, dude, he just ironically happened to get hurt in trading like the
What?
day
That's
after
what it
they
was?
signed
Oh my
him.
gosh. Because I know you got like Cup, you got was it Andrew? What's the dude's name? The defensive player,
Oh,
99.
Donald.
Yeah. And then you got Von Miller, and you telling me you
Yeah,
got Cooper Cup, and like you
Ramsey on
guys
the
couldn't win the
corner.
game. Like, come on now. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
they
They got a great
overthought it.
defense.
Yeah, that team should be fine. I don't think it's much of a worry. It's just, I mean, we said at the beginning of the season that that division was going to beat up on itself. It's a tight division. They know how to prepare for in division games. Some of these really good teams in the division, like the Rams and the Cardinals, you'll see them lose weird games out of division, but you'll see them still, they'll come back, turn around, get some wins, and have hard fought divisional games. And it'll be about staying healthy, sticking to what your game plan was. And the Rams went away from that a bit and they suffered for it. So I suspect they'll get things back on track. And I mean, they're an exciting team to watch. I like watching this team.
I will agree with you on
When they
that.
have it together, they're one of the best. And of
But
course,
are they the best? Because I think we're about to talk about the best right
they're
here.
one. Oh yeah, and then of course, nobody in the NFL circles the wagons like my Buffalo Bills. And this week inside the wagons, big game, big divisional game, very important game. Nah, we beat up on the Jets pretty good, 45-17. Got off to a good start, unlike a couple weeks where our first half has just been dreadful, and then Allen steps up and has a big third quarter, where we have a big fourth quarter, and we pull out a game, we make it close, or we just don't and we lose. But we played a great game. Our defense did what they had to do. A couple garbage time touchdowns, which I'm not too fussed about. We were expected to win the game, so does it say anything about Buffalo? Like, oh, we're back, we're the best team in the NFL. Just say all that? No, we were supposed to beat the Jets. We did. We're a lot better than the Jets. We were supposed to beat them handedly, and we did. As far as I'm concerned, it was just a good day at the office. Got the job done. We got to get ready and go to Indy next week. So I trust that we'll be prepared. I mean, Indy's not the Jets. We'll have to do a little bit more, but that defense isn't that much better either. We had 4 guys score touchdowns on the ground against the Jets in this game. Very, very impressive. Allen, over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, did throw another interception. If I have to say anything, Josh Allen, I need you to quit throwing interceptions, man. Take care of my football because if this is come playoff time, it the turnover battle becomes more and more important. We can't be turning the ball over and expect to win tough playoff games, and especially even division games with New England coming up doing stuff um, that I want to be doing. It's kind of scary. So just take care of business, get to the office, get the job done, get ready for the next shift. And I think we do that, we'll be fine. Did that game say much to you about anything, or just team
I
you
know,
do what they
yeah.
needed to do?
I never like hyping the Bills too, dude. I'm not gonna lie and say I do.
I
Like,
hate hyping anybody because every time I
so
hype somebody, they
I
go
mean,
off.
the
They
truth
don't go
is,
off.
the Jets are struggling. They've struggled for years, unfortunately. But what I wanted to ask you, I think you pretty much talked about the question I did have for you. What the weak spots? What do you think besides Josh Allen that if we could turn the wagon around, what do you think would benefit the Bills going
Um,
forward? Because I really think their running game's weak. Not that I hate
yes,
Singletary. Is Moss still in there? Is,
Moss. Yeah.
okay. So I think if they had a strong running game, but I feel like the wide receiver game has kind of slipped through too. Because
Uh,
who they throwing the rock to now?
well, to address the first part, running game needs to be better. I like
First draft pick better or
no. I
wide
think
receiver first draft?
our run blocking
Okay. Okay.
is to be lacking. Our
Okay.
Singletary and Moss, even as a combo, the answer no, no, they're
They're not
not.
bad,
They're not exactly. They're not bad, but
Yeah.
you need better than not bad. And it's no offense to those guys whatsoever, but I think if we had better runner, things would look more promising. But I also think there would be a risk that even with a better running back, if our line's not run blocking well, what good is it?
Fair
So,
enough.
I mean, the running game is our big uh, focus, I feel, and I think it has more to do with the line. They're fine pass blocking. I mean, Josh Allen's having great days through the air. We're having good passing numbers.
Dude's like
Uh,
6'4", right? So I
right.
mean, he's moving the ball like he needs
Yeah.
to.
I mean, Diggs had 13 targets, caught 8 of them for 162 yards and a touchdown. So Giggs is doing really good.
I like that guy. He really boosted his game in Buffalo.
Yeah, Davis. I mean, he only had 3 targets, but he caught all 3 of them. Had 105 yards on those 3 catches. That's good. Cole Beasley's there too, but I mean,
Oh my
he has
gosh.
his days. He's
Yes.
just
Yes.
that.
Cole Beasley, dude. That dude's throwing it down, man. That's a veteran right there. That dude, even if he isn't catching the balls, he's telling those guys like, "Yo, this is how we need to run this system." The dude knows what he's talking about. I mean, too bad he
Yeah.
played on the Cowboys for so
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
But it is what it is.
No, right. And yeah, the 4 interceptions killed the Jets. But I mean, and that's why, we're talking about possibly Flacco being the quarterback next week.
And
But
that's how you know it's bad in the Jets.
yeah,
They're
we'll see
like,
what we did. But
yo,
no,
Flacco.
Buffalo, good day, right? 489 yards, 350 through the air, 139 on the ground. Thought it was a
Nice.
very, very good win. Good to bounce back from last week on a game we should have won
I think they got the
handedly.
chance to take their division. I think next year you're gonna really fight the Patriots for it. But I think this year you guys got your
We
spot.
should, but it's close. It's closer
Yeah,
right now. Well,
definitely.
and I think mentioned all the games. Of course, being Wednesday, the NFL put out their players of the week. Uh, NFC offensive player of the week. This receiver, I really like him. 2 times in 3 weeks, he's won it. Debo Samuel.
I played him this week. I'm sorry, dude. The dude is killing it, man. Every time he gets the freaking ball, he's doing magic. I mean, God,
dude,
man, the dude's good. He's good. He's by
dude,
far, he's for sure. I mean,
97 yards on 5 catches. Even carried the ball 5 times for 36
that's
yards,
what I'm saying. Every time the ball
two
touches his hands,
touchdowns.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, he was good. Quarterback for the AFC was Patrick Mahomes.
Uh,
He had
all
a
right.
day, dude.
I
406, five
know, but
touchdowns, 70% completion percentage. The important thing for him, I think, uh, was the no interceptions
okay,
because he
okay.
has been having a little
Yes.
problem lately taking care of the football. Like I want Josh Allen to do. He turned the ball over for the 11th time this season.
What 11?
Yeah, yeah.
The thing about
And that's the guy
Mahomes,
who's has the ball in his hand every week, every play. He turned
fair
it
enough.
over that much. We played 10 games. He's turned it over 11 times.
I think the NFL in general is just like hyped up about Kansas. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they're having a really hard time realizing that maybe Kansas isn't the team that was that team 3 years ago.
Well, they're trying to be a big play team, but
And
they're not
Tom
hitting
Brady
their big
curse. That's all I'm
plays.
saying about that. Tom
Right.
Brady curse.
And
You
then
play Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, your career's going downhill after that. I'm sorry.
right. Yep. Xavier Howard, the cornerback for Miami, was defensive player
Like
of
it.
the
Like
week.
it.
He's good. Yeah. 49-yard scoop score,
I know. I
forced a
know.
fumble, 5
Dude's
tackles.
great.
Very good day. Phillies corner Darius Slay. He was the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. 83-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown, and he also had 5 tackles with one for loss. So,
You got a recovery and 5 tackles. Like,
yeah,
are you brushing all those chips off your shoulder when you walk into the tunnel?
right. So that's week 10 in the NFL. Thank you for joining me, Donnie. Thank you
Thank you, Britt,
for
for having me
coming
on, man.
in, being
I appreciate it.
co-host. Really appreciate you. Everybody in the chats, always appreciate people viewing, watching, contributing. Have a comment. We'll look at them. Could comment on what we're talking about. If there's something you want, shoot it out. We'll address it. Uh, put your comment up. Add it to our little conversation. But until next week, everybody have a great week. Donnie, once again, man,
If I
thank
had a
you.
cowboy hat from Texas, y'all be
It
safe.
was fun,
Yes, sir.
but
Thank you, Britt. I appreciate you having me on.
yes, hey, very, very thank you for joining me. But everybody, have a great evening and see you next week. Bye.